This is MollyReardon, and today I'm going to talk to you about what happened when I died and came back. So I'd always had intuition. I was working at a tea room in Quincy doing psychic readings. It was 2007. I've saved the paperwork from this accident because I still can't believe it myself. So I worked all day, and then I did a psychic party after work, and then I went and saw my boyfriend at the time. And we had a little disagreement, so I left. And I got in my car, and I was driving. And some of you, was born in Boston, Massachusetts, are from this area. You'll know what I'm talking about. As I was headed into Boston, there's a gas can that's painted. And I see there's something going on ahead. What I was told later is this tractor trailer went out of control up ahead of me, and a bunch of cars were in the accident. And then he jackknifed, and he hit my little Toyota Corolla like a big whale waving his tail, and I went up in the air, and I was spinning like a top in the air. And I just remembered, well, F it, I might as well stop steering because it's not going to matter up here. And then my mind automatically went to, oh my God, am I going to go in the harbor? And if I go underwater, how am I going to get out of the vehicle? So these were like split-second thoughts. Everything happened so fast. And all of a sudden, my car landed on the ground, facing in the opposite direction of what I was driving. And a girl hit me head on and broke her arm. So there was a lot of cars that were affected by this tractor trailer. And he just kept on going, from what I was told later. He never stopped. And he got away with it. So all of a sudden, I'm standing in the sky. It's so bright. The light was so brilliant. And I just felt like, multiply, if you've ever felt love in your life, and I hope you have, multiply that by infinity. That's how good it felt. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? I'm standing in the sky, and it's daylight, but I can see my car down there, and it's dark. It's nighttime. So my mind was like, this doesn't make any sense. What the heck is going on? And then it hit me. Oh my God, I'm dead. But the light felt so good, it took away the sting of it. And then, without speaking, it's like they were speaking with their mind to my mind. These beings of light said to me, you have a choice. You can stay here or you can go back. And trust, I never, with every fiber of my being, I never wanted to come back to planet Earth. When you're in that light, it feels better than any good feeling that you could ever experience on Earth. Better than anything. But it was 2007, and I had 3 children that I loved more than myself. All I'd ever wanted was to have kids, which really didn't go over well in the 70s because women were all independent. They were going to take on the world, and they'd ask me, what do you want to do? And all I'd say was, I want to have 6 kids. I had 3. When I first married my husband, he said, no kids. And I couldn't believe that anybody wouldn't want kids. I was a teenager. I thought he'd change his mind eventually. And my brother died in 85, and I didn't handle that very well. So my kid's dad and my in-laws got together. My in-laws lived upstairs. We lived in a 2-family. I lived downstairs, and they were trying to get me back to me, because before my brother died, I was working at the Raytheon. I was giving my paycheck to my husband. I I was doing life. But when he passed away, I lost a lot of weight, and I just wasn't the best version of me. So they were trying to snap me out of it. So my kid's father, we'd been married since 82. It was now 85. He said, my parents have said, they'll buy you a house or you can have a kid. You can't do both. We can't afford that, but one or the other. I know you want to have a kid. I know I said no kids to you, but they were just trying to bring me back to me. So I thought, women can't have kids forever. At least back then, that's the way I thought. So I said, I'll have a kid. Instead of the house, I picked a child, and I had my son, and I was really happy with him. I was over the moon happy. It did help. And so fast forward, I'm standing in what I thought was the sky with these beings of light, and my car's in the dark down below, and with every fiber of my being, I didn't want to come back here. So I said, well, if my kids still need me, I'll go back to planet Earth. And boom, I woke up in my vehicle to a guy pounding on my window, and my car had landed right next to the guardrail, right next to it. Because remember, I was panicking that it was going to go into the Boston Harbor and I wouldn't be able to get out of the vehicle. It landed. My car came out of the sky and landed right next to the guardrail, facing in the opposite direction. I came to, and this man was banging on my window. And I said, were you in the accident? And he said, no, I pulled over to see if you were still alive. Now, mind you, there was no breakdown lane there. And I was just sitting there. I must have been in shock, and I didn't realize it. The girl had hit me. She had broken her arm. But we were going to continue to be hit. If this guy hadn't pulled over and banged on my window, I would have just been continuously being hit by cars because there was no breakdown lane there. And he said, push the door and I'll pull it. And he pulled the door open. And I was a skinny little thing then. People say I'm skinny now, but I was a skinny little thing then. He pulled me out of the car and he placed me on the guardrail, and he said, where's your phone? I said, it's in the pocket in the back of the seat of the car. Now, I never put my phone in the pocket in the seat behind me before. And another time, I had been hit by a guy that was high before that, and my car had flown all over the car. We couldn't even find it to call for help. But this time, I think a part of me must have known. I think we all have intuition. So you get the phone, he called 911. Now, I was in a state of shock. I didn't realize it then, but I know it now because I would have continued to sit there and get hit by cars. So he called 911, and the fire department came, and I refused to go with them. So they said, well, you got to get her out of here if she's not going to come with us. So they called my boyfriend, and they were yelling at him, there's no breakdown lane here, it's dangerous, you got to take her out of here, keep her up all night, don't let her fall asleep. So the next day, I'm still not right, and I try to go into work. I get there, and they look at me in horror and say, what the hell happened to you? You're going to the hospital. So they took me to the hospital. When my mom saw the car in the lot, she said, how the hell did you, excuse my language, get out of that car alive? So I had, like I said, been working in a tea room doing psychic readings before that, but after that, my ability was off the charts. Like I was doing things like it was on steroids. And so I started to study about this because I was like, what the heck happened to me? And I saw this other woman that was a medium, and I read her book. I forget what her name was. She was from the area. And she said that severe trauma opens up psychic ability, and she also had been hit by a tractor trailer. And she became a medium. Excuse me, I just pressed a button. She became a medium after she got hit. All the bones were broken in her face. And she was a famous medium from the area. I can't remember her name. I read her book. It was a long time ago. So that's my story. Something told me to tell you guys about it today, in case somebody needed to hear that. There is something after this life. And if you'd like to get a reading from me, I'll drop the email where you can get a hold of me through that. And I appreciate you tuning in. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It helps me to do what I do. And I'm happy to be of service. Thank you.